Daphna Baram.
Wow. Hi. Good evening. My God, you're gorgeous. I didn't expect that. You're a perfect audience. Who would have known? Here in Sydenham. I've never been to Sydenham before. You can hear from my accent I'm not particularly from around here. I'm not from these parts. I came down from Walthamstow. Hey, East London, yes. Well, in some places people bite, but some of you are laughing because you don't believe it. As you can hear, I'm a little bit foreign. Just a tiny, I'm from Israel, okay? I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I used to apologize a lot for the accent. Obviously, you know, I used to say things like, had anybody lost an erection over my accent? Sorry. Yeah, not anymore. And I used to apologize, of course, for everything. Yeah. Now, I don't, these days are over. I only apologize for everything. Because the accent has been redeemed. And you know who redeemed it, ladies? Wonder Woman. Right, you've seen the film?
Yeah.
Okay, if you haven't, just get it. It's great. It's like Barbie kicks ass in this accent. It's amazing. Gal Gadot, who plays Wonder Woman, she's obviously an Israeli as well. And we share a lot in common, me and Gal. Yeah, you're laughing at that. Don't look at the waistline. That's not it, sir. But we both share this slightly unbearable accent, and we were both trained to kill, obviously by the same organization. Only she went on and made a career out of it. For me, it's just a hobby. Anyway, ever since the film came out, the Israeli accent had leaped from the lower water in which it was dwindling, you know, together with the German accent, the Northern Irish accent, the South African accent, you know, all the racist accents, suddenly leaped up, and now it's considered to be the sexiest accent for women in the world. Yeah. I'm expecting a hot January. If anybody wants to participate, please let me know at the break. I would be happy to find out. But this is not, honestly, this is not what I came to talk to you about today. It's not. I want to talk to you about being fat. Okay, only a few people are laughing. These are the Americans in the room. The Americans look at me and think, you're not even fat, what are you talking about? There's always, at every gig, there's an English guy there at the back who goes, oh, she's fat, all right. Believe you me, this woman is heavy. Don't listen to this guy. This is the guy I've had sex with. Because I know I'm easy on the eye, but I'm quite heavy on the face. Sure, I mean, you know, it started like a little bit of fun, but once I pull my weight in, it could get painful. Yeah, you know, it's not about the waist anyway, it's all about the taste. I know what you English people say. Sticks and stones can break your bones, but a curvy girl can break you. That would be me. That would be me. I mean, I don't know really, to be honest, what you see when you look at me. I don't even know what I see when I look at me anymore. Because in my lifetime, I was also, I mean, you might think, oh, I want a piece of that. And you might think, don't get anywhere near me, lady. But in my life, I was all sorts of sizes. You know, I was morbidly obese and I was almost skinny. I was a fat slob and I was nearly fit. And I was voluptuous. I love that. That's my favorite. And I was curvy and curvaceous, which is the same but sexier. And whatever size I was on the range, always from the inside, massive. I mean, you know, it's all Kit Kat and butter in here. And you know, when you're like that during the course of your life, I mean, I know looking at you, not just looking at you, just knowing statistically, 25% of the people in the room are fat from within. I'm not going to ask you who you are, you know who you are. And also it's hard to tell because it's not counted by the size. When you're fat from within, you know. And even if you manage to forget, even if you go through the years and you gain weight and you lose weight and you go to the gym and you have sex with 27 people or 58 people or 96 people and you have a big love of your life and you have all sorts of disasters and you have all sorts of elations inside, there's always something there to remind you. There's always something there to remind you who you are. And I was reminded only recently because I went for dinner with a bloke. And the bloke, bless him, he said he was interested in what I do. He said, "What is your comedy about nowadays?" And I said, "Well, it kind of evolves around being overweight." Because, you know, when you're having dinner with a bloke you're hoping to have breakfast with, you do not utter the F word. It does not come out of your mouth. No way. And the bloke, bless him, he again scanned me from top to bottom, favorably, I must say, and he said, "Are you sure that you even qualify to do this kind of comedy?" Oh. What do you mean, oh? I opened my mouth to give him a piece of my mind. I was going to tell this guy, "Who are you? Who the hell do you think you are? To just unquestion my artistic pursuits." But what came out of my mouth was, "Are you maybe free to marry me on Thursday?" It's just what it's like when you're a fat woman in it. It's just what it's like. It's I had another reminder when I went to the co-op. I don't know if you have a co-op. Do you have a co-op? Yeah, of course you do. Sometimes in Islington I have to explain that co-op is like the Waitrose of the poor. Obviously not in Sydenham. Sydenham and Walthamstow, twin cities with the same kind of co-op. You would know, guys, the co-op is a minefield. It's dangerous there. But I had to go. I needed some cherry tomatoes and skinny milk. But what happened, you know, you just walk in, and then I was not there for a moment, and I felt that something was checking me out. Something was checking me out. So I had to check it out. But it was in the fridge. Oh, it was in the fridge. It was, I had to look back because it would be rude not to. The thing was obviously a big jug of ice cream. Big. It was big. Not only was it big, it was also quality. You know, it was the one with the chocolate bits and the gooey bits and the nuts. And it was an offer. So hello. So I I walked over, opened the fridge. I had to look at the fridge, but just as I was reaching for it, just as I was nearly touching it, I could feel that my mother was looking at me from heaven. Which is, of course, bollocks, because my mother is, first of all, alive. But also, she's an atheist. And, you know, we don't get to go to heaven. We go to hell, where they play Richard Dawkins and repeat until we beg to be let out. In any case, there was a presence, and it was hostile. That's how I recognized that it was my mother. So I thought, let's mitigate the sin that I'm about to commit just a little bit. And I thought, I'll go for a safer option. I'll go for a better option. I will go for the box of 8 mini magnums. Do you know the 8 mini magnums? Perfect solution, isn't it? Because they're only just small, right? They're small. You can have one a day, every day of the week. And then there's an extra one, right? So if somebody comes visit, you can share. Of course, we can share for the whole week. Best solution. Well, 2 hours later, when you throw the whole empty box of 8 mini magnums in the bin without the mini magnums, which are here, you don't even have the audacity to be disappointed with yourself, right? Because what were you expecting? Fuck all. I mean, you knew you were lying to yourself. Still, you had to lie to yourself in order to get the mini magnums. It's just how it works. I did that. I've learned to lie to myself from my mum. My mum had that great lie. She used to tell me every Friday night she would look sadly at the table of the dinner of the Friday night. This is what we do, Jews, on Friday night. We have dinner. And the salad, there were 3/4 of the salad bowl were uneaten because, of course, who can be fucked to eat salad when you have both chicken and beef and fish at the same dinner and rice and some noodles. So my mum would just look at the salad bowl and she would say, what are we going to do about this salad? Every Friday, as if it was the first time. What are we going to do about this salad? Are we going to throw it in the bin now? Or are we going to put it in the fridge and throw it in the bin in the morning? Poor salad spent every Friday night in the fridge, hoping for a different ending, which never happened. Because you know these lies that you have to tell yourself, it's a little bit like, maybe if I don't wax my legs and go on that date, I wouldn't bring that guy back in, right? I wouldn't dare. Right? I see a lot of nodding here from the ladies. Well done. Yeah, am I right? Of course I'm right. It's like this, if I leave my bedroom dirty and messy and go on that first date, I wouldn't bring him back on. I wouldn't dare. I wouldn't. And then you end up fucking this guy with hair on your legs and your room is fucking shit. It's just what we do. It is lies like, oh, I'll have time to shower in the morning. And then you turn up for that job interview, stinky. I mean, of course, they wouldn't mind waiting for me just a little bit. Of course, they're not your friends anymore, are they? This is the kind of lies we tell ourselves. This is. So I was living this life of being fat from within, and I've had a few achievements doing that. I got myself type 2 diabetes at the age of 37.
Hey!
I know, isn't it amazing? My GP, she was also amazed. She was amazed. She said, oh my God, people normally don't get it before the age of 60, 70. And I was like, yeah, what am I like? I also skipped a class in school, so figures. I'm ahead of the curve. She wasn't too bad. But I'll tell you what, I'm of course, you are an intelligent audience. There's no point in me trying to sell you type 2 diabetes as a recommended lifestyle. Got some upsides though, I'll tell you that. I mean, the one upside, I'm a looker for upsides, because you could tell that already. I'm basically a Middle Eastern Mary Poppins. I mean, you can tell, right? Yeah, like a semi-automatic umbrella. And a spoonful of hummus makes the episode go up. That's me. So I can see the upsides of type 2 diabetes, because I'll tell you what it is. You can, if you have type 2 diabetes, you can fall in the street and then look indignantly at people who look at you as if you're drunk. Because only 80% of my falling in the street are due to alcohol. Purely type 2, and of course general clumsiness, which I also have. That's my second condition. I went for a gig the other day, just after Christmas, and it was raining, and I fell in the street. I just got off the bus and I fell. I fell in a little pond of water. Oh. So, I know, how humiliating, it was terrible. And you know what, when I tell this story outside of London, I told it in Brighton recently. You know, people of Brighton, they're all like, oh my God, as if they've not lived in London until 2 weeks ago. Like, oh no, London, oh poor you fell in London. I bet you nobody stopped. I bet you fell in the street, in the water, in the rain, in the pond, and nobody stopped. That's such a lie. This is not what we're like. I fell in the water in the pond, and a gentleman stopped. He stopped and he looked at me with great pity. And he looked at the phone that fell next to me with even greater pity. And he just reached his hand and he said, go on, love, I'll help you get up. But I'll tell you what, I'm not bending down to pick this piece of shit. In fairness, an Android. So, yeah. I mean, good bad manners, good taste in phones. This is what we're like. This is what we're like, Londoners. Right, I think this is probably my time. And I'll tell you what, I promised Rosie that I am going to be very accurate on my time. I promised to keep my set here tonight short and tight. And I am a woman of my word when it comes to this kind of thing. I'm a Jewish woman. I have never given birth. It doesn't get any tighter than that. Thank you very much.